In this set of videos, we're going to take a look at the character object within Cinema 4D. This remarkable object allows us to set up really quick rigs that are both complex and very functional right within the character menu. So I'm going to start with this basic mesh object here. And when you're dealing with your overall model and getting ready to establish a rig, it's good to take note of the height of the rig. So I can see down here with this mesh selected, the height of the object is about 171 centimeters. That's going to come into play really quickly as I go to add the character object from the character menu. So here's the character object, and you'll see this is split up just like we're going to split up these videos. We have the building phase where we actually build the rig. Then we have the adjustment phase where we go in and adjust the rig to better match our mesh. And then we have the binding component where we actually go in and paint vertex weighting maps to our mesh and actually bind the rig hierarchy to our mesh. And those are the three big steps that the character object takes you through in setting up your character animation. The last one is the actual Animate Options, and those tie in with C-Motion, which allow you to bring in motion capture or anything you've recorded yourself as far as motion capture, or something that you've gotten from a motion capture library, and apply it within the rig that you've established. So we're going to begin again with the build phase. So I've added the character object, and if I go to the basic tab, I'll find this option down here. Character right now, it's set to none, no preset. We're going to change that to a biped, and we're going to turn off auto size. Now, what's happening here is the auto size is trying to determine what size the controllers and different configurations of the rig should be. So if we know what the size of our model, we can get this to be a little bit more accurate. So I'm going to type in 170, let's say 171 as the size, and since it knows it's a biped, this will help in creating the right size controllers for our objects. So now as I go back to the Object tab, I'm going to start with the root. You'll notice that null master controllers show up at the bottom, and then I can add a spine. And now I'm going to have lots of options. So what you're seeing is the character object is actually stepping through the hierarchy as we build our components. So now at the spine level of the hierarchy, I have all these different options. We're not going to build an eye set, we're not going to build a jaw set for this. We're going to focus on the legs and the arms. So I'm going to start with the legs. You do have options for how this is created. IK/FK only is what we're going for here. If we're going for more of a more cartoony effect, we could go with the leg IK/FK bendy. So I don't want to create the left leg hierarchy or the right leg hierarchy and then have to go back and make the other. We're dealing with a symmetrical rig, so the character object allows us to hold the command on the Mac, control on the PC key, and it will create a symmetrical rig. So if I hold the command key here, because I'm on a Mac, and click the leg FKIK, you'll notice that it adds both left and right leg rigs. See that? Okay, now I go back to the spine, and we're not going to build a separate toe rigs. We'll deal with that enough when we talk about the hands. So now I'm ready to do the arms. So again, I hold the command key and press the arm IK/FK, and again with the command key held, I get a symmetrical build. Now it's time to go into the components of the arm. So the next joint that will be created here is the hand joint, so I just command click there. And now again I have options for the hand. Do I want a morph rig, or do I want a standard FK rig for these joints? The morph rig would allow you to set up morph targets, much like you would do with a facial rig. In this case, I just want to build a regular FK rig, so I'm again going to press the Command key and build thumbs on both sides. Okay. So again, I'm not worried that this is not matching up to the mesh. We're going to deal with all that when we talk about adjusting the rig. Now, I will go back to the hand joint, excuse me, for both these sides. And I'll show you, we want to create the 4 fingers. Well, we don't want to keep jumping down to the hierarchy like we did with the thumb and then have to bounce back up and select our hand objects. So the character object allows us to press the Shift key, and as we hold the Shift key and click to add to our hierarchy, we stay in the same level. So watch what happens here. Again, I want to create a symmetrical rig here for the fingers. So I am going to hold the Command key, but I'm also going to hold the Shift key. So as I hold Command Shift and choose FK fingers, you'll see that I stay within the same level of the hierarchy. So I could have done that with the thumb, but you live and you learn. So here we go again. So again, I Command Shift click, that'll add the next finger. Command Shift click will add the third, and finally one more time to add the 4th. So handy when you're dealing with things like fingers and toes, that you can stay at that same level in the hierarchy and begin building out your rig. All right, so just like that, we have successfully completed the build of our rig. And in the next video, we're going to go through and set up the adjustments to get this to better match our mesh.